Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today, BT Dubs, not sponsored, I wanted to do a video called Do I Really Read My Books of the Month? And if you're new to this channel, hello, my name is Natasha. I do videos on books, bullet journaling, beauty, TV, movies, and basically whatever I want to do a video about because why not? I'm not sponsored again by Book of the Month, but I thought this would be a good thing to help you see if Book of the Month is the right fit for you because I have no skin in the game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split this video up a little bit and I'm going to share with you the books that I have read from Book of the Month, the books that I have not read, and the books that I'm going to prioritize to read. So if you're not familiar with Book of the Month, it is a subscription service. It's $14.99 plus tax wherever you live, free shipping. You get 1 credit a month, so you get a book from a selection of 5 either new releases or early releases. And they typically do quite a different amount of genres, so you can find something that you like. And they'll have a synopsis, they'll have a review, little points about the book. You might even be able to read either a first chapter or a little sample of the book to kind of see what you're interested in. If you're not interested in any of the books that month, they typically will have a selection of backlist books that you can choose from. If you don't like those, you just skip that month, and then the next month you won't get charged. You just use the credit you already have for the next month. So it's pretty much risk-free when it comes to that, and there's no contracts or anything like that. You just get it when you're done, or you don't want it anymore, you can cancel. Simple. All right, so I have really enjoyed this service myself personally. I've had it about a year. I have more than 12 books because when I first got it, I took advantage of the add-ons. So you get your book credit, that book, and then once you choose that book, then there's a whole library of books from the past months that you can choose from, and it's $10 an add-on. They are all hardback, they are all the same height. So there's my Book of the Month shelf right there. I have a couple on a little cart beside me because of overflow, but every so often I do go through my bookshelves. I have 4 bookshelves here, and I'll see books that I've read or I just don't think I'm ever gonna read, or books that I enjoyed maybe, but I'm not gonna read them again, so it's time to pass them on. So I figure I will be doing that with the Book of the Month shelf soon because I've got some over here. All right, so without any further ado, I'm gonna grab those books off the shelf and then we are gonna get started with going through those books. Well, okay then. Interesting. I have 28 Book of the Month books. 14 of them have been read and 14 of them are unread, which is kind of funny. If you hear a little clicky noise, it's that lantern, but I think it's pretty, so I'm just gonna keep it up. New mug, sweater weather. Like it. All right, so let's go through the books that I have read, and then we'll go through some that I have not, and then I'm just gonna put to the side here the 5 that I'm prioritizing. All right, so one of the first books, they're not in any order. Actually, this is one of the last books that I read from Book of the Month. The Collective by Allison Galen. This is about a mother who has lost her child, and a group of women who have also lost their children have a collective that help right those wrongs. The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper. This is a nonfiction book about an emergency room physician in Philadelphia. By the way, I really liked both those books. I've got 2 here from Donna Tartt. I have The Goldfinch, which is a beast of a book, and The Secret History, also by Donna Tartt. The thing with me and Donna Tartt, I love her writing. It's beautiful. She is an amazing writer, but her endings or her stories or the way everything wraps up, I usually find a little just kind of off or meh or not for me, but I will still read her books because there is joy in the journey with reading that. This one, Beach Read by Emily Henry. I got this one, Book of the Month, because it was a Book of the Month for our book club, and I got this for $10 as an add-on. This, I'm sure you've all heard about before. It's two writers. Their beach houses happen to be side by side. They both have in writer's block, so they switch genres and write that way. Fate of the Fallen. This is a fantasy story where the chosen one gets killed right away, and then his best friend tries to finish his quest. The Lost Apothecary. This is one of the most disappointing books I've ever read. I would like to see more by Sarah Penner, but here's the thing. There's a present day portion of this book and an historical fiction portion of this book. The historical fiction part of this book is chef's kiss. I could read that as a book. The present day, did not care for the characters, didn't really seem realistic, didn't like it. Yeah, so I think I gave this 2 or 3 stars because I think I gave it 2 stars because of the present day. I did not like those characters, that story at all, did not care, and I do not recommend this book. However, if Sarah Penner ever puts out a historical fiction book, I'm on that. Severance by Ling Ma. This is another one I got as an add-on because Noelle Gallagher was like singing the praises of this book. And so I got it, and I was disappointed. But again, not a bad book, but I think I was expecting something different. Jane Harper, The Survivors. Jane Harper never disappoints me. I love everything she writes. This is, everything takes place in Australia in her books because that's where she lives. And they're usually some sort of murder mystery or historical murder mystery, as in like the person comes home and they were accused of something back when they were in high school, and you know, all these things, but they didn't do it, kind of thing. There are some other plots that she has in her books, but that's one of my favorites that she does. The People We Keep by Allison Larkin. Now this again is one of those books that I probably wouldn't have picked up if it wasn't available on Book of the Month, but I read this when I got it immediately, and I really enjoyed it. It's considered historical fiction because it takes place in the 90s, but here we go. Such a good book. Follows a girl whose mother is gone, her father is basically worthless, and so she just takes off and lives her life. Then we have this one, Damnation Spring by Ash Davison. If you've been watching my channel for the past couple months, you know I really enjoyed this book. Gave it 4 or 5 stars. I think I gave it 4 stars. And It Will Wreck You. Loved it. Valentine by Elizabeth Wetmore. This is a good one. This is one of my first Book of the Months that I got. Again, one that I probably wouldn't have noticed if it wasn't for Book of the Month, but I really enjoyed it. It's historical fiction in that it takes place in the 70s in an oil town. A crime is committed. There's also a really interesting dynamic with some neighbors and like the children, and it's a good book. It's relatively short, but I did enjoy that read. And then Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Good book. Really extremely gothic book. Takes place in the 50s in Mexico, and it is a really... It's horror, but it's not like disgusting horror, but there's some gross moments. Okay. Also, a book that I don't have on me because somebody else is borrowing it is The Vanishing Half. That is one where you have twins who are African American, but they're very white passing. So one embraces her African American roots. The other one passes as white and marries a white man, and nobody knows that she's black. And their children, as they grow up, meet and become friends, and then figure out that they're related and all of that stuff. So those are the books that I've read so far. The only bad one in the bunch, I think, is The Lost Apothecary. I really enjoyed pretty much everything that I read. And a lot of those, you know, some of those books I would not have picked up or even notice that they existed if it wasn't for Book of the Month. So I'm really glad that I got in on that. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you the books that I haven't read that I'm not prioritizing yet. I do plan on reading all of these, okay? Not a big deal, I'll read them all, but I'm just going to show you what they are. I'm not going to tell you too much about them because I don't know, because I haven't read them. But first one is Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. Next one is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manasala. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This one looks really cute. The Star-Crossed Sisters of Tuscany by Lori Nelson Spielman. I got this one and thought I would immediately just start reading it, but for some reason I haven't. I think I was saving it for something, and then I just let it sit on the shelf. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I love anything he writes, so I know that's going to be good. Alright, so I may be in a different angle now because my battery died. And when I changed it and put a new battery in, that battery was also dead. So then I had to change it again. Alright, the next one is The Splendid and the Vile by Eric Larson. He writes amazing historical books. We have On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I don't know why I haven't read this yet. This will probably be a soon read for me. And then this one I've always been excited about, but I've never picked it up yet. Never picked it up yet. I haven't picked it up yet. The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. That looks really good. And last but not least, we have Cast, The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson, and that is a non-fiction. Alright, so now we're going to move to 5 unread books that I'm going to prioritize over the next quarter, say January through April. And I think what I'll do is throughout the quarter, I will take maybe 2 to 3 to 5, whatever, backlist books from Book of the Month and put them on a priority list for that quarter. The reason why I'm only going to say maybe 2 or 3 is because I'm still getting Book of the Month, so I may actually want to read that month's Book of the Month. But anyway, here are the 5 that I'm going to prioritize, and I think this one might be a very soon read because I'm very excited to read it. That is The Family by Naomi Kropitsky. This is a historical fiction, takes place in the 30s and 40s, and it follows 2 females in a crime family. The next is These Violet Delights by Chloe Gong. Do not know why I haven't read this yet. I think when I got it, I was just so busy and I didn't have enough time to be reading a lot. So I don't know what happened, but the second book in this series, I don't know if this is a series or duology, but the second one has just come out, so I need to get in on the first. Then this is a more recent Book of the Month. This is Beautiful Country by this person. I do not want to butcher their name, but this is a nonfiction about, I believe, Chinese American. Yes. A Chinese family that moves here, and the parents were in high standing in China, had, you know, powerful jobs. They moved here, and then they were like janitors and things like that. And then also growing up, it's basically her thoughts as a child. If you hear all that sound of like, sounds like wicker or something, it's my dog jumping off and on a wicker chair. But it's her experience from her point of view as a child when she came here from China. Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. This is a historical fiction novel that I've heard wonderful things about, and I got it as an add-on because, again, not only did Noel Gallagher go crazy over this book, but several other people have spoken of it recently as well, and so it was $10. I mean, this is a really nice edition of this book for $10. And then the last one is also a more recent Book of the Month release, I believe, yeah, October. And that is, and I've been seeing this book everywhere, The Lincoln Highway by Amor Tallis. This is about a kid getting out of juvie, and it's historical fiction. I believe it takes place in the 50s. Kid gets out of juvie, the prison guard or whatever drives him home, and in the trunk are two of his other friends from juvie. He didn't know they were there, and he had a mission to go home, grab one of his siblings, and drive, go on a journey to a certain place. But then the two friends that break out of prison and show up want to get him to go somewhere else with them. So it's about that. Alright, so that is the video. I hope that this helped you guys see what kind of books Book of the Month has available for you in their monthly selections, as well as can you really get through them all, can you read them, and if the service is worth it. I love this service, and again, it's opened my eyes to books that maybe I would not have picked up or read if it weren't for Book of the Month, but then I found I really enjoyed those books. It's also made a way for me to get, popular books and a beautiful edition for cheap. I mean, this is probably, so the inside cover says $27 US, and I got it for $10. So I think that is just a steal. I highly recommend the service. I do not have any codes or anything because I am not sponsored, but I will put in the links below some of my favorite YouTubers and their Book of the Month videos where you can get a coupon code to get like your first book for $9.99, and then I will put a code down there. Everybody who has Book of the Month, everyone gets a referral link, and so if you happen to sign up through my referral link, then I get a free credit. You don't have to do that if you'd like to get like the percentage off with somebody else's coupon code. Go for it. That's not gonna hurt my feelings at all. But again, this is a really great service and I do highly recommend it. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you again very soon right here on Nat's Beautiful Life. We are going to be doing the 12 days of Christmas starting the first Friday in December. So be sure that you are subscribed for all of that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. See you soon. Have a great day, gorgeous.